When God is silent, is He still there? I remember very clearly that night, the night when I thought there was no more room for faith. The small room, the broken yellow light on the ceiling, and the sound of rain pouring outside the window seemed to drown out any last ray of hope I still had. I sat alone, an old Bible in my hand, my heart filled with unanswered questions. That was the night I whispered the question that I think many people have asked, God, where are you? I am an only son. My mother died when I was very young, and my father was all I had left. My father was a godly man. He taught me to pray before every meal, read the Bible every night, and always reminded me, son, no matter what happens, God is with you. I believed that until my father was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer. We prayed with strangers who sent prayers. I laid my hands on my father every night, praying for God to heal him. I believed that a miracle would happen. But 6 months later, I stood by his bedside, holding his hand, silently watching his last breath leave his body. I didn't cry. Everything I believed in seemed to collapse in that moment. That night, I sat alone in the room where my father used to pray. I opened the Bible but couldn't read a single verse. I no longer wanted to hear the comforting words, God has a good plan for each of us. At that moment, all I wanted to do was scream, God, where are you? Your silence was what hurt me the most. No answer. No palpable presence. No miracle. Just a cold room, and my heartbeat beating in solitude. I began to doubt everything. I stayed away from church. Stayed away from friends. I didn't want to hear anyone mention faith. Because in my heart, that belief was broken. But then, something strange started to happen. An old friend from high school texted me to ask how I was, even though we hadn't been in touch for years. He also lost his mother to cancer and understood the pain I was going through. One day, I walked past a park near my house, saw a homeless man sitting reading the Bible and looking up at me with a smile. He said, God still loves you, even if you don't feel embarrassed. I didn't know who he was, and I hadn't seen him again. But that sentence kept ringing in my head. I started going back to church. Not because I had forgiven God, but because I needed answers. I heard the pastor read a verse from the Bible. If I go east, he's not there. If I go west, I won't see him either, but he knows the path I'm taking. That sentence was like an arrow piercing my heart. Yes, I didn't see God, but that didn't mean he didn't know where I was going. From that moment on, I began to realize there were times when God didn't speak, not because he was absent, but because he was working in silence. He wasn't always there, like in the movies. He was always there in the storm. He wasn't on the boat in the middle of the storm, but he didn't leave the disciples. He was just silently watching. Slowly I came back to faith, not with a heart full of emotions, but a heart that had gone through the pain and found something deeper, trust. Trust not because of seeing, but because of knowing. Knowing that God is still God, even when everything in me doubts it. Knowing that He still loves me, even when I'm angry with Him. Knowing that His presence doesn't depend on my feelings, but on His unchanging promise. If you are in the same situation as I was, if you are crying silently, praying in despair, asking God, where are you? Then I want to tell you this, He is still there. He has not left you. He knows every tear, every sigh, every crack in your heart. And He is still working, even though you can't see it yet. You may not feel it now, but trust me, one day you will look back and see clearly, God has never left you. He has been there, in every moment when you felt alone. God, where are you? You are here. In the pain, in the silence, in the waiting. He still holds your hand even though you can't feel it. And one day, you will understand, it is in the darkest moments that He is closest to you.
The video ends here. Thank you for listening. If you find it interesting, please give me a like, share, and click the subscribe button to help me.